Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. I'm continuing my Week 2 previews and analysis. This video is for the game between the Oakland Raiders and the Jacksonville Jaguars. This game will take place out in Oakland. Oakland coming off of a, I don't want to say impressive loss, but I think a loss that they were in the game a lot more than people thought against the Colts, losing the game late. And, of course, the Jaguars getting thumped at home in the opener 28-2 by the Chiefs. You know, both of these teams are in sort of a rebuilding mode, or certainly a mode where neither team really expects to get to the playoffs this year. And you start with the Raiders, the home team, and Terrell Pryor, I thought, had a better first game than a lot of people thought. Over 200 yards passing, over 100 yards rushing against a Colts defense that isn't great. But I don't think anyone saw that good of a performance coming from Pryor, who won the job late in training camp over Matt Flynn, who was brought in the offseason. And I think in that Indianapolis game, though, you saw late that in a clutch situation, Pryor taking a bad sack, for instance, that really sort of hamstrung them as they were driving for what would have been the go-ahead touchdown. I think little things like that will come with time. It does with any quarterback. But you had the glimpses that you saw from Pryor last week. I was one that doubted Pryor, and if he can keep up a play similar or a little bit better than he did last week, maybe a little bit better in the decision-making department, who knows? The Raiders might catch lightning in a bottle here. On the defensive side of the ball, after getting down a lot initially, I thought the Raiders' defense did quite well. They have a lot of. That's what I was nervous about going into the game for the Raiders last week. They have a lot of new parts on defense. How would they all sort of mesh? And I thought they meshed pretty good, and I'm looking forward to see what they're able to do this week against Maurice Jones-Drew and that Jaguars ground attack. Because I think when you look at that Raiders defense, I like the parts they put together, but none of the guys jump out at you. But, hey, we've seen defenses in the past without any stars on it really gel and become a good defense. And, the jury's still out on that defense, but we'll see. And, it starts this week or continues this week versus a Jacksonville Jaguars offense that might be among the worst in the league. I mean, they'll go with Gabbert again, who left the game early after slicing open his hand last week. That hand is stitched up. There is a concern it could open up during the game, which would obviously cause some problems. So look for Chad Henne to once again be waiting in the wings. It's tough to really predict what this offense is going to do because, one, Blaine Gabbert is not that good, and two, he has a propensity to get hurt. I think you know what you have in Chad Henne a little bit more than you even know what you have in Blaine Gabbert. It's sort of a weird quarterback situation out there in Jacksonville. They were not able to run the ball at all last week versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs held Jones-Drew to 45 yards rushing. Justin Houston, the linebacker for the Chiefs, had 3 sacks in the game. So let's see if we get any improvement from that Jacksonville offense, from the offensive line, I should say, either in run protection or in pass protection, because they were dreadful last week. As far as the Jacksonville defense goes, look, they played pretty well last week. Obviously when your offense is constantly putting teams in position where they have favorable field position, it makes it tougher. But the Chiefs threw for under 200 yards. Jamal Charles rushed for 75 yards in the game. So it's not like they got overly gashed from a defensive perspective. And but then again, you look at it, and although the defense played pretty good, they still lost by 20-plus points. And that's just how bad this offense is right now. And if Jones-Drew is going to rush for 30, 40, 50 yards, those problems are even going to be magnified even more. And I think you see them magnified again this week. This team is just too far away from winning, whether it be the lack of playmakers on offense, some of the, just that offense is just in shambles right now. You have to see them score over 10 points in a game before you can really, or score some points on offense before you can believe in them. And that's where I'm at right now with the Jaguars. So I like the Raiders minus 5.5 at home to beat the Jaguars. Let me know what you think. Hit me up in the YouTube comments. Hit me up on Twitter at SNewsAnalysis. I preview every game every week here, guys. So be sure to subscribe. Thanks again for listening, and have a great day.